I was reading The Egg by Andy Weir, and this is a short story that was written by him that I didn't even know existed until very recently. And I was reading this, and I had a thought. How a lie what is essentially a lie can change the way you live your life for the better. And it's quite extraordinary when you think about it, how a single lie can improve your life immeasurably if you believe it. We're often taught from a young age, we are taught that lying is bad, a vice. But of course, we all know about white lies. Maybe we should just think of a lie for what it is, a non-truth or untruth. I think more important is what you do with it. Because if the outcome of the lie is a net good, does it really matter if it is a lie? I'm thinking to myself if I should save the particular thought I had while reading until later, or if I should just reveal it now. Okay, let's do it like this. Actually, maybe I should just reveal it now. Imagine the idea of reincarnation. That once you die, you're born again. And let's consider also that, let's say that when you do move on to your next life, you bring with you all your knowledge and experiences. So something is brought into your next life from your current one, which means that you bring something into your current one from the last one, even though you may not be conscious of it. But that's besides the point. Other than the fact that if you live a life filled with experiences, and you've also attained a great deal of knowledge through your life, much of which has come from your experiences. Then I think it would be fair to assume that you would want to live your life in such a way that you have a lot of experiences, meaningful experiences, and so on. But imagine that this belief in reincarnation, or at least in this particular kind of reincarnation, induces in you an immutable drive like no other to live as good a life as you can. Then maybe you're better off believing, wouldn't you say? If a lie like this, assuming it is a lie, of course, we don't know. Let's call it an idea. If an idea like this and the belief in this idea can have such a positive and profound effect on your life, then does it really matter if it's true or not? I see no reason that it matters at that point. And of course, when I say good life, what do I mean by good? Well, a life lived aligned with what we consider virtues. A life we consider meaningful. Fulfilling. And you could argue that this is very subjective, but if you ask a person on their deathbed, what their regrets are, you can get some insight into what they find to be very meaningful in their lives. And this has also been done. And it has been shown that they all share more or less the same regrets, or the same beliefs, values. Most of them regret not spending more time with their loved ones. And I think that's probably the number one regret, if I remember correctly. But it essentially boiled down to the connections between or with other human beings being one of the most important things that you can invest in life. And I don't need a lot of convincing to believe that. If I look back on my own experiences and my own life, however short it has been up until this point, I do find that my most meaningful experiences up until this point, or the memories I hold the most dear, are precisely the ones in which I have shared moments with others. So and from this you can extrapolate a lot of things, such as treating other people with kindness, helping other people, and so on. And these things are typically seen as good by, I don't know, everyone. So when I say that, when I talk about living a good life, this is what I'm thinking of. Essentially, if you're on your deathbed and looking back on your life, if you're able to tell yourself in that situation that, yes, this has been a good life and I wouldn't have lived it any other way, then that is exactly what you would be aiming for. If one belief can have such a profound effect on your life in such a positive way, can single-handedly encourage you to live as best as you can, then I quite frankly don't see why it would matter if it's true or not. And you could argue that religion serves as a similar kind of rule. For example, if you look at the Ten Commandments, none of them seem bad exactly, quite on the contrary. And especially the Golden Rule. Do unto others as you would have them do unto you. Even if any and all religion just turn out to be bogus, and that there is no God, and that religion is merely an invention to help get you through life and fill it with meaning, then does it really matter if that's what it does? If it improves your life, then I don't really think it does matter. Hmm. There are many other ways in which lies and also manipulation are a part of our lives. If you really think about it, we lie to ourselves all the time. We manipulate ourselves all the time, as well as others. It's not really something we think about. Much like with lying, manipulation is seen as something inherently bad. But I don't think it necessarily is. For example, if you force yourself to believe in reincarnation and this belief has an immeasurably good effect on your life, then you have essentially manipulated yourself, but in a positive way. And sometimes manipulation can be quite effective in improving our lives in other ways. For example, if you are someone who struggles with a lack of self-worth or self-confidence, then affecting confidence can actually be what is needed to turn things around. Fake it till you make it, as it were. And in this particular example, this is something I'm speaking from experience. Sometimes, if you feel like you're in a slump, that you're lethargic and unmotivated to do anything at all. And sometimes just can be very difficult to do something about it simply because you lack the energy and the will to. But if you just force yourself to just do it, do something, then that can be what makes the ball rolling. And from psychology, we also know that I probably should have closed the window. From psychology, we also know that let's take an example. Say you're feeling happy. It can be quite apparent on your face that you are. You may be smiling more. You can see it in your eyes, around your eyes. But the chain of causality can also go in the other direction. If you smile and contort your face in the same way as you would be when you're happy, then that can actually improve your mood as well and make you feel more happy. So that is something that you could deliberately do in order to improve your mood. And that is also a form of manipulation. I think it depends very much on how you define manipulation, but I think depending on how you do define it, it's not a stretch, I think, to call this that. And whether we like it or not, we manipulate other people very frequently as well, in order to make them do the things that we want. And it sounds bad when you put it like that, but it's not necessarily so. For example, you can maybe you feel like you've been neglected a little bit with a friend or a partner, and you decide to pull back and maybe not be as talkative. And you do this because you want them to initiate conversation or to say something or do something so that you may feel better, because you want them to do something about it, but you don't want to tell them directly. And so you sort of I lost the phrase. I had it just now. You sort of well, you do it indirectly. Yes, you could say that you bait them into doing what you would like them to do, and this is very much a form of manipulation. But can you call it malicious? Bad? I'm not so sure. It certainly doesn't seem very harmful. I mean, in this particular case, I think it is probably a good idea to be aware of what it is that you're doing. Sometimes the best resolution to a problem is simply to talk about it. But then you could, of course, say that it's easier said than done. That we are only human and we fall into these sorts of actions from time to time, whether we want to or not. And that's okay. But it doesn't change the fact that it's there. So we all lie to other people and ourselves and manipulate other people and ourselves in, well, more or less subtle ways. And there isn't necessarily anything bad about it, I think. Indeed, in some cases it can be used even to immeasurably improve your life. Just a thought.